everyone. Got a cool video for you today. I just wanted to show you the project that I'm working on right now. I am in the process of free motion quilting this quilt right here, and I'm doing it a little bit differently just because it's a little bit of a more of a geometric design, different than I usually do. Normally on a free motion quilting project, I would do kind of a loop-de-loop pattern or a meander pattern for the quilting. And here's a good example over here. This is a nice meander here, and you can do that on most quilts depending on the pattern. But this one, because it's a little bit of a more of a geometric design, I kind of felt like I had to do something a little bit different. Wasn't quite sure how I was going to tackle it, but then I realized that if I just kind of broke it up into smaller sections and did each section a little differently, then I could get it done. So let me turn this over and give you a look at what I've got so far here. And it's a little bit abstract in some spots, but hopefully you can see some of those lines in some of those sections that I've kind of broken it up into. Now, if you've done any free motion quilting, you will know that the loop-de-loop patterns are a lot easier because they're pretty abstract. When you do a straight line free motion quilting, you can never get a perfectly straight line. It's just how it is. So as long as you can make your lines evenly wavy, then you're doing good. So I am, as you can see here, I've got this whole corner up here left to do. So I'm going to gather some supplies, get this over to the machine, and we are going to do some free motion quilting and see if we can get this project finished up. All right, so I got my quilt all loaded into my machine here. I am quilting right now on my Juki machine. It is a TL2010Q. Absolutely love this machine. I've never had any issues with it. It's got a nice big throat space here for quilting large quilts and a nice big tabletop here as well. So let me just do a couple double checks here. I want to make sure I've got my feed dogs dropped down. My stitch length is at 0. I've got plenty of thread in my bobbin below and plenty of top thread as well. So I am just going to go ahead and get started here, and I'm just going to do a small triangle to get started here. So we're just going to give it a shot. Remember, when you're doing straight lines, when you're free motion quilting, you can try to make them as straight as you can, but if they get a little wonky, I wouldn't worry too much. You got to also remember that this is all cotton, so once it gets washed one time, the batting inside and the backing and the quilt top, it's all going to shrink up a little bit and create that nice quilt crinkle, and you will not even notice that some of your lines weren't perfectly straight. So just do the best you can. Most important thing is that you're having fun and you're creating something, and just have a good time. So the outside of the triangle is a little bit easy because you got some lines to follow. But once you get in the middle here, it gets a little abstract, and that is perfectly fine. So you just want to reposition your hands as you go. Make sure you're holding everything nice and steady and straight. You also got to kind of remember where you've gone and keep track of where you're going. A couple little extra stitches there. Needle up, slide this out, and that is it for that triangle. So we just get our bottom bobbin thread cut here, and we are moving on to the next triangle. So that was easy. I'm just going to go ahead and work around this last big triangle part here that I need to finish up, and I'll meet you back here in a few minutes and we'll see how we did. Okay, so we got this all quilted. Pretty pleased with how it turned out. This is something that I've never really done in this style before. I've done a lot of loop-de-loops and meandering patterns, but nothing really quite this intricate. So if you want to maybe get in closer here, as I said before, I had to kind of divide it into sections, and you can kind of see a couple of these sections that are different. The whole thing is pretty abstract. It's definitely not even all the way around. That's kind of what I was going for. Really liked the challenge that it presented. I love doing stuff that I've never done before. New things are always fun. So that's the back side. I would love to show you how the front turned out as well. So I will get this down and we'll take a look at the front. All right, so here is the finished quilting of the front side of the quilt. Super pleased with how this pattern came out. It looks really cool and kind of intricate, but really this is just a half square triangle pattern. It's all in how you lay out your half square triangles. Just really love how they come together, and half square triangles are just so versatile. You can make tons of different patterns with them. So as far as the fabric goes, this is a memory quilt. This is for my son-in-law, and I was given a bunch of his grandfather's old shirts, and I thought it would be really cool to make him a quilt. So he has that memory of him. So a lot of these fabrics are from his old shirts, but I didn't have enough of the fabric to do the entire quilt top. So I paired it with some red, white, and blue fabrics that I found at the fabric store, and I think it just really all blends together well and looks really nice, and I think he's really going to like it. So as you will see here, the quilt is still unfinished on the binding. We have binding to do. So please tune in to my next video. I have got a really great binding procedure that is zero frustration. It is not your conventional binding that most people do, and I would love to show you all how to do that because it is just wonderful. I love it. I do it on all of my quilts, on my wall hangings and table runners. So that is about it. Thank you so much for joining me. I've had a great time showing you this project as I finish it up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.